Okay, just wanted to make sure it was recording.
Want to sit down? You take a chair. Oh.
So again, this is the free virtual class. Impact Earth ourselves, we sponsored this event tonight, especially since it's about our facilities and about our company. We really wanted to sponsor this and give this to the public for free.
You'll hear a little bit more about it. So far, you said nothing.
And thank you, Bonnie. Just have everyone mute.
Yep.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, have everyone mute just in case for now. And again, if you want to say something, just try and give me a hand raise or just a quick, hey, I have a question.
I'm muted.
So yeah, we have, I'll try and,
You use this for the whole picture?
there's a few people that still have yet to mute. Let me see if I can just do that myself. Oh, I'm sorry, I was pressing the wrong person. So let me just do this real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so yeah, the class tonight is behind the scenes of Impact Earth. So what we do, just a brief intro about Impact Earth, I'd like to share with all of you. So we do have 4 different departments, really just the 3 mainly at this point. But we have a composting department, which I said most of you probably are aware of. We do residential and commercial composting in Monroe County and a few other counties around now. We've grown a little bit more since then. We also do, we help towns and cities with their composting programs. And then we do composting education, things like that as well. We have a lifestyle department. And so we're at the mall right now, the Eastview Mall. We also, most of you have seen the lifestyle products at some of the markets, and that's where we developed originally. And now we're online as well. You can purchase our lifestyle products. They're all sustainability focused and reusable or compostable. And then we have an education department, of course. So that's we started off with K through 12, but now we do professional development. We do professional education for companies and schools as well. And we also do free online events and any type of education that we can get our hands on, we hope to do. And then we also have consulting. So that's the one that we do when we have the availability or there is some type of consulting opportunities available around this area. A lot of that involves waste audits and assessments. And we do that.
It was such a horrible process. I
know.
Oh, can I just ask that everyone just mute unless you just have a question?
Okay.
Let's see if, okay. And then municipalities as well. So our vision at Impact Earth is to build a future where communities thrive within a circular economic model where all people, resources, and the planet are valued. So the circular economic model is that nothing that is produced or created leaves this cyclical, leaves the circle. So usually we have waste, and that single-use waste will end up leaving this cycle that we have right here. But instead, we are hoping to, after making, using, you're reusing, remaking, or recycling. And recycling is considered composting as well. So any way that we can just reduce any of the waste that goes into the landfill. Then our mission is to reduce single-use consumption and divert materials from the landfill through education, access to products and services, and creation of policy and processes. A brief history about us. In 2014, we started with zero waste events. So we were doing recycling and composting events. We were basically standing there and helping service the waste stream at these events. So there wasn't so much education at that point. It was just trying to reduce the single use at large gatherings. Then we joined the RIT incubator in 2015 and graduated. And this just tested this model, or can we create a business that is successful where we're helping the environment and helping the people around us in this community. Then in 2017, we started the school program. So the school program briefly is we are in K through 12 doing composting. So the kids are learning about composting, they're doing it in their lunches. And then we're teaching them about single-use products as well and how to recycle properly. Some schools were there in person, and then some schools we will train them before we start going, and then do any yearly trainings or updates as we need to with them, but they're the ones that are teaching the kids on their own. And then we also did policy work. We started doing some of those waste assessments and other policy with municipalities mainly. And then in 2018 and beyond, we started our composting service. We acquired community composting. That's a year ago now. We started the retail department, and then we expanded the environmental education program outside of the schools and went from 4 to 30, which is now maybe 40 employees. So we'll start with the composting department. That's kind of the most exciting and most interesting aspect of Impact Earth, especially with the locations that we're at. So the two locations mainly is the Brighton warehouse, which some of you might have been for a drop-off. And then also we have the Compost Farm. As you can see, the Compost Farm is in Stanley, New York. So that's about 40 minutes south of our Brighton warehouse. And we do travel there often because that's where we drop off our compost. So the Brighton warehouse, what happens at the Brighton warehouse? This is where the drivers drop off. It's the drop off location for our drivers. So if you ever came into this location, you would see these murals, which we actually just did last year. We wanted to brighten up the location as well as have a very easy visual of where to find us, because if anyone has been there, it can be a little tricky at that location. So we made these great murals that brighten up the location. And we have about, I believe it's 6 trucks now, and then 2 of the big box trucks as well. So the drivers come here in the morning. They leave here with their empty buckets. They know the route that they're going to be taking for their residential runs. So they're picking up the residential runs. If anyone doesn't know, is we pick up the compost buckets at people's houses, and then we give them an empty, clean one as we leave. So those are weekly or bi-weekly services. So our compost drivers are kind of the gateway to that. They're the ones driving there, picking it up, making sure that they're servicing everyone and coming back. And then we transfer the compost buckets into our box trucks, where the box trucks will take them down to the farm to be dumped. So this really is the hub, the main location that we have, where all of our workers at some point will make their way to, even if it's just for a training or things like that. But in general, most of our staff are at this location. And this also is where we store all of our clean buckets and toters. So the toters you can use these as a residential customer, but a lot of our commercial customers use our toters, and the towns that work with us use the toters. You can also, if you're interested, you can just have a toter dropped off for like a one-time fee if you needed it. A lot of people need that in the fall or the spring for their cleanups outdoor. So they will use a toter for one time, and we're happy to do that as well. So this is where we will, the drivers in the morning will take all of the buckets that they need for their run and then make their way. This is also location for our compost return. So this is the only one that we manage ourselves. Many of you might use our compost returns in different locations, which I'll share those other locations in a little bit. But this is the one that we just started. We wanted to allow people to come to our location because it is $1 cheaper when you come to the Brighton Henrietta Town Line Road. And again, very visible to see. This is another mural that we have set up at the dock. So this is where you would come in, drop off your bucket outside, and then come in through the doors, and you would be able to get a new bucket in our office space. So it's a very close-knit group. You might see me that day and I'm servicing you, or you might see Doug here, who is probably going to be the main person that you would see walking around. He deals with all of our warehouse duties, and he helps the drivers in tasks that they need to get done. He checks on the trucks, things like that. So if you ever saw Doug walking around, he's your go-to to ask questions. Does anyone have any questions about that so far?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have green buckets and white buckets. I've seen them. Is there any difference? Ours has always been green.
Yeah, so community composting had green buckets. It was just the two companies. We just first had purchased different types of buckets. So when we had bought them, they gave us those buckets, and obviously the customers that came with it, some of them preferred the green buckets over the white. The main difference is that the white bucket is 1 gallon larger, so that's a 5-gallon bucket. The community composting, that green square one, is 4. Some people like that because I've heard that they can fit it in their freezer. So some people like to have their compost frozen so it doesn't smell. I've never had a problem with my compost smelling. I just secure the lid, but it's a little bit smaller, so it tends to be lighter for people if 5 gallons is a little too heavy for people to walk with. And that's really the main difference, is that we just both had started with different types of buckets. So you are welcome to switch to another one if you ever wanted. You could just call our office, and Becky you would get a hold of, and she's happy to just switch the size of the bucket if you are interested. I don't believe we don't buy more of the green buckets. So I think we are slowly trying to transition to the white, because the lids are a little bit nicer to use, but it's, you're welcome to ask Becky if you ever wanted to go the other way around.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So next we have the Compost
Can I ask
Farm.
a question about,
Yep.
I apologize. This might be out of turn, but I wanted to ask, is it okay to put like branches and things from the yard in my bucket if I cut it up small enough?
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you can fit in there that's compostable, go ahead and do. Again, if you happen to really need extra space one time, you can just call us and get a toter. And I believe the cheapest one is like $15 or $10. You could look up online. But if you really needed to fit a little bit more, I would recommend just calling for like a one-time service.
Awesome. Great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so the next we have is the Compost Farm. This is definitely the most intriguing to people. It's that one location that no one sees and is very interested in, because you obviously send your food to with us, and then all of a sudden you get compost soil given back each year. So you're like, well, how did this happen? And it's a very interesting practice anyway, just to see what happens. So we are doing tours of the farm this summer, and I'll get to that at the end as well. But we just wanted to offer a tour of it virtually too. So first, what do we do, or how do we compost? So we take all of our compost to the Organics Green Industry Farm located in Ontario County. Like I said, it's about 40 minutes to an hour away from Rochester. So Organics Green, we work with the farmer there. We've been renting that space and working with them for quite some time now. And so their method, they use the vermicomposting process to break down the organic material. What that entails is they dig a very large pit. It's long. I think it's can't remember how many feet it is, but a couple feet deep, very long. And then they dump the red wiggler worms into the pile. And then you add that compost in as well. And then you close up the pit. The worms and the bacteria spend the next 6 months. Sometimes it's only 3 months. Sometimes it's a little bit more than 6 months, but it takes the 6 months to a year of eating away at that rotting material. And then once the pit is dug back up, it's the dark compost soil that you get in your return. So we check on that every so often to see how it's doing and know when that pile itself is ready to be dug up and used. So the first thing that happens down at the farm is we have a compost dump drop site. So people our workers will get the buckets and just manually dump all of the compost out. As you can imagine, it can be quite messy. And so although the winter time is not ideal for it being cold outside, the summertime, most of our staff says is a little bit worse because that heat with the compost breaking down. So, but all of us really do get used to it, especially when you know that it's a good thing that's happening in the environment. It's a natural process. You still feel good doing that, and it's fun to get messy still. We're adults and we get to be messy every day when we're working in the composting department. Also, because we are a small company, all of us have done all of these jobs. So even the managers and the CEO, we've all done this work, and we believe that brings our company closer together, the staff that we have, because we all know what each of us have gone through with it. Oddly enough, you might see in the background there's some limo and tour the tour buses. This is a very interesting farm because some of the space, he's a retired farmer, and some of the space is the word that I'm trying to say, rented out. Thank you. So it's rented to different different people and customers. So we take up a good portion of it for two of the buildings and then some of the outside space. But there is a tour bus company and limo company that uses a space for the parking. So if you came to a farm tour, it's a very fun and interesting farm because there's a lot of different companies there, which just makes it an interesting place in Ontario County. So here's some other photos of the compost being dumped. So we just pull it out, and all these stacked, you can see all the stacked ones. These are all the dirty buckets that are going to be cleaned down at this location as well. So the other photo I have, unfortunately, I don't have one of the vermicompost pits. I thought I did, but even more reason to come down and see the farm itself, but hopefully I'll get a photo soon to share. So this is the Windrow's compost piles. So before we put them into the vermicomposting pits, we leave them in these piles here, which is where you just saw these two men dumping. And so we also add soil to that, and we add our browns is what people like to call it. So we add the twigs and leaves and any type of browns into the pile. What the Windrow compost does is it lets more of the moisture exit the pile. So that mound will decrease significantly. So it becomes it's kind of just like a prep for the vermicompost pit, and it speeds up the process for them once the compost is put into those pits. So if you just kept going down this road, that's where our vermicompost pits are. They really are just a long, skinny line of dirt, and there's sometimes some grass growing up on it. Some people think, oh, how did it grow so quickly? Or how long has some of those pits been? Some are longer and they have to stay a little bit longer than others. But really, it just shows how nutrient rich that soil is, because grass and other plants are allowed to grow on it very quickly. So it's really interesting to see in the summer when things are growing so aggressively on it. And you could also imagine that you have all of your vegetables in there and fruits in there. So all those seeds are going to be growing up too, which just is, it's a fun thing to see all the growth that's on top of those piles. So we also, at this location, we also have staff gardens that we're starting up this year. We really wanted to offer, again, another community thing for our staff to work together with. So we have staff gardens at the Brighton location we're starting up, and here down at the farm. So this is one of our staff putting in the tulip bulbs that we have. He did this in the fall for us. So Thomas is a great gardener, especially with flowers. So he wanted to help us with this. So we have this spot just picked out right in front of the Impact Earth building that we have, the event space that we have there. So hopefully soon we're going to be, or if not already, they might have been seeing some of this growing out by now. It is a little bit colder down there, so it might be a little too early. We also, these are the only photos I have because we haven't started yet, but we soon will have our vegetable and our some fruits and different things, but really a vegetable garden there as well. And so what we really enjoy about this is it's going to be local seeds from Fruition Seeds, and it's our staff that are maintaining it and keeping it healthy. And then we're just going to be giving back all of the produce that we get from it to our staff as well. So not the most beautiful picture that we have right now, but the indoor event space is this barn that we have. So you can see that he was just doing the tulips right there. We have our sign that we were just started developing this in the fall before the snow came. So we put up our sign, but in this event space is really nice. We have a few rooms that we do some compost testing with, where we'll test some of the compostable plastic packaging. We like to test and see how quickly that's composting and breaking down. We also have a little nursery in there that we can grow some of our early seeds before we put them in the ground. And then we also do presentations and other events in this space. We have a larger room in there as well. So again, it's a really nice location. Also for our staff that are down here, they have a place to have their lunch indoors and have kind of a communal place that they can hang out during the day. And then we have our bucket cleaning location. So this kind of gets shifted each year, and especially with the seasons, as you can imagine in the winter, we like to make sure it's indoors. But some of the other locations that we've had before are, although indoors, they're not heated. So we have to deal with finding spaces in the winter to make sure it's warm enough for people to be working. So this year we were at this location, which is down at the farm, and the setup, you can see that all the water drains into the strainers down here, but then all on the table and in the back, we do a rinse of all of our buckets first with a heavy power washer. So we like to make sure everything's all the pieces are out of there, all the stuff pieces. And then we have a eco-safe cleaning solution that we put in there. We were using bleach and a little bit more heavier during COVID because we really wanted to make sure that in the beginning of COVID, we really wanted to make sure that we were cleaning the buckets really well so that there wasn't any potential for someone to get COVID from our buckets, of course. So we just wanted to keep it very safe for everyone. Now we are transitioning out of that. So we might have a little bit of bleach that we're still using because it's a really nice cleaner. But our hope is to get completely back into the eco-safe cleaning products that we like to use before then. So they'll do the first rinse, then we do the solution, and then we do a scrub, and then we'll do a second rinse into a larger bucket of water to make sure that all that is, all the soap is gone. And then we do splash it with a little bit of sanitizing liquid as well. And we like to keep a little bit of that in the bucket so that while it's being transported back up, it kind of keeps its fresh scent. Of course, some of the buckets over time end up keeping their scent a little bit stronger, but we really try our best to make sure that our buckets are as clean as possible, since that is one of the most enticing aspects of our service, is that you don't have to clean that bucket with all that compost breaking down. So we like to make sure that we do that really well. Does anyone have any questions about the farm?
So
I
do
wanted
you,
to ask if
Go
you're
ahead.
looking to, oh, sorry. Did someone
no, you
else?
go ahead.
I wanted to ask if you're looking to switch to vehicles that do not use fossil fuels.
Yeah, so that is, thank you for bringing that up. That is a really big thing that we have been dealing with, is since our location is quite far away that we're dropping it off, really the main issue that we are having is fossil fuels is our gas that we're using. So we obviously purchase a lot of gas and we're doing a lot of driving, so we're emitting a lot into the air. So ideally soon, once these trucks start to, these pickup trucks start to be done, their life be done, we'd love to switch over to a more eco-friendly model vehicle. Some trucks are becoming plug-in, which is really awesome. But those are these brand new ones. But yes, ideally in the future, we're trying to transition completely out. And the other hope is that we're not going to be so far away from our farm, the compost farm that we work with. So trying to find a location that's closer to us is very important. We love working with the farmer that we have right now, that we work with, but trying to have a closer location and keeping the food waste in the same county is definitely an ideal thing for us.
So some
Great,
time
thank
ago,
you.
we got a souvenir, a survey asking about maybe using liners or something in the buckets. I presume they would be compostable liners or something like
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Are there any plans for anything like that? Or
Yeah.
I
So
think there
we
were a number of ideas suggested, but that's one I remember.
Yeah, so our composting manager came from another location. He was up here working with us when we first started. Then he moved away and was working with another composting company in a different state. And then when he came back, he mentioned that that's what they did, was put a liner in, and it really helps with keeping that, yeah, the really lingering scent out of it. So we asked our customers. I can't remember what the final kind of percentage was of interest for the customers, but it's really been a back and forth of, is it financially feasible to get the compostable bags? How
Mhm.
well do the compostable bags actually compost? Like, how quickly do they? So we have gone back and forth. We might still transition to that. It definitely helps with our labor as well, because it's less time it takes to clean. So that's another thing that we think of. With the toters, we do put a liner in all of our toters now. And that's especially easier for us because in the winter, some of the food freezes at the bottom. And so it's pretty much impossible to get that food out. So with the liner, it just makes it easier for us to get any of the food out, as well as for our customers who, especially at restaurants and some of the grocery stores, they don't want that lingering smell near, even if it's around the corner nearby any of the customers. So you can just close that up. But hopefully, it's still a back and forth of which is the most sensible, but we do always keep that in mind of using a liner again with the bucket.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anything else with the composting department and the farm?
I've got a couple questions.
Yeah.
Now, I've been putting in, the clam shells that say that they're compostable.
Mhm.
That's okay, isn't it?
Yes, that is. Yeah, anything that says that it's BPI compostable or just the word compostable, you can put that in our buckets.
Okay, and then the other thing is, do pesticides or herbicides, anything that people might have used on their plants, and then and then it ends up in the compost heap. Do those things, are they broken down, or what happens with that?
Yeah, that's a good thing to bring up. So the percentage of that is really low, and that's why we don't worry too much about it. We ideally, we like to educate people on not using herbicides and any chemical-based things on their plants, just for general convenience of the plants. But the percentage is so low that it's not a problem for our composting, especially with how much food that we take in a week. It's such a low percentage that it doesn't interfere with any of the compost itself. But that is a good thing to consider if you do your own compost pile.
Okay, so when we use it ourselves, that we don't have to worry about that. You're saying it's very low, because we didn't decide to use any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah, even if you did and you put it in our buckets, that's no problem. It's more for your own, if you were putting it in your own compost pile, that percentage increases, of course. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anyone else? I feel like someone is trying to talk, but I can't hear it very well. We can't, it's very high pitched. Do you want to put it, I think it's David that's talking. Do you want to put it in the chat? Maybe put that question in the chat. And it might just be my echo coming back. Maybe you could just mute yourself. That might be what it is. Okay. All right, we will go to so now to the lifestyle department. Oh, let me check the chat real quick. So David, you had said, are any towns doing composting? Yes, we have. Of course, Rochester, I don't know if you know, the city of Rochester is doing a compost service. It's a trial run for the year. They do bring their compost to us. And so they are using our service, but it's through, we just work with them specifically. So hopefully that first year is very successful for them. We are doing compost give back for them as well. Any of those customers, and it is free for anyone in the city. So that's really awesome. And we hope that keeps going and is really successful. So there's the city of Rochester. There is also the Victor as well. I was trying to remember which one. It was Victor that's been doing it with us for a little bit. And then there's a few other towns that are in discussion of starting up with us. So we're very happy to help with any of the towns that are looking to do that. And it's a really awesome service. The Rochester one is free, but the Victor one, I believe you have a small service fee, but I don't think it's too much. It's like the yearly fee for using that drop site. And then Amanda, you said, would you guys be open to a group of homeschool kids coming for a field trip? That's definitely something that we're happy to be doing. So we do have one coming up this week, although I know it might be short notice for you, but I'll talk about that at the end. And then we will be doing tours throughout the summer as well. So we'll be advertising those, but I can get your email too. And Carla, thank you. Okay, so the lifestyle department. So that one really, has grown from our customers. We never would have thought that we were going to be selling lifestyle products. Not so much because it's, you know, we think of, okay, if we're a sustainable company, we don't want to be putting more into the environment that might be hindering it, or purchasing more. We don't want to be promoting that. But at the same time, it's really awesome to be sharing with our customers and people who are interested in learning more about sustainable products, especially ones that are compostable. So there's really a lot of awesome products out there that we like to showcase, both local makers. We also make some of it. And then some other US or North American products that we really like to share with our customers. So our Brighton location, the one thing that we do there, our manager, of course, works there mainly, but we also are starting to make that or have that a maker's space so we can develop some of our products there. And then we also have our storage for the markets at that location. And then we have our Impact Earth storefront at the Eastview Mall, which we'll talk about. So there's only a few examples that I showed in pictures, but these are some of the things that we make ourselves. So a lot of them are cotton-based things because we have a lot of sewers that work with us. So we started developing DIY kits. You may see this plastic and think it's plastic, but in fact, it's a compostable plastic. So anything that we are selling will be compostable, even if it's the outside packaging. So we have this DIY kit for a scrunchie, so you can make one yourself. And then we have a few other kits that we try and develop for kids. Then we also do dishcloths and napkins, and over here we have bidet wipes for people who have started using a bidet. We have coffee filters, 2 different sizes, but we make about 50% at this point of our products because we really want to keep that the transportation of products down to a minimum. So we also, like I said, have the market storage. So we are at many markets at this point, but we keep all of our things there, everything that we need for tabling events. Any of our signs and our canopies are there. So when we we get ready for the markets, we just grab a truck and we load it up there, and then we can go out for the day and come back and drop everything back off. So here's our long list. If you want to take a picture, again, we have this on our website. And then you can also get the recording of this as well. But our farmers markets that we are at currently right now is just the public market. We're there year round. Brighton, we used to be there year round, but they have since made a temporary market in the winter, I believe, and it just didn't work out for us. So all of these, the Brighton, the Irondequoit, the Noda Market, and the South Wedge Market are going to be the farmers markets that we'll be at this year. You can do a compost return with any of these locations. And then we also have all of our lifestyle products as much as we can bring for the tables that we have. We try and bring some of our most popular products there. The retail locations for composting, I just put those up as well, just in case anyone was interested about where you can now drop off your compost buckets and get a bucket in return. So then we have our single-use compostable ware. So this is something that people might not know that we do, but we sell single-use compostable products such as to-go containers, the clamshell containers, like someone had mentioned. We have cups, hot cups, cold cups, napkins, of course, things like that. BPI compostable silverware. So we recently have been showing this more to our wedding customers because we do also do zero waste weddings. So you can see on the left, those are the, we did a tabling event in one of the wedding show events. And we we're showing the plates and cups that we like to use for our wedding customers. So most people will get a toter from us, but then if they aren't doing reusable like glassware, plates and things like that, we like to offer them some compostable options so that they're not having a bunch of plastic plates, and then those are either going into the compost, so we have to deal with contamination, or it's obviously being wasted and being thrown into the landfill. So we're trying to get all of the events that we work with to be as zero waste as possible. We also sell our compostable ware to at like a 10 count, and we can do whatever event number you might have. So any of our customers can always, or anyone can call us, and if they have an event that they're doing, we can provide compostable ware for them. I did have my baby shower was last December, and I was able to use all of our products and use our compost bin, and we had nothing to throw away at the end of the night, which was really awesome in the landfill. And then we have our lifestyle store. So this, we just started at the Eastview Mall a year ago. Yep, a year ago now. So we weren't expecting it, but it came about one way or another, and we thought, let's try out this location. We have, ever since before then, we've just been doing markets. So we really wanted a space that we could make our own and not have to be tearing down and bringing things with us everywhere we go. We, especially since we started increasing the products that we do have available for our customers. So the store is near the Starbucks or the Apple store, if you know that location. We are really enjoying this space for our customers to have a location to find us all the time. As you can see, right now we have our Earth Month window display up, but we really like to change that out and just present a fun and lively visual for people as they're passing or coming in. So our different departments, just briefly, you can see we try and keep it organized because we have a lot of products available. So we have a kids section, we have cleaning products available. We have a bath section. We have a kitchen section. And these are the new, I'm not sure if some people like to ask for a tabletop one, a tabletop compost bin. So these are the new ones that we have that are a metal version. And then we also like to have a sign up front that shows all the things that we make ourselves. So we will change this out as we get new items that we started making. Don't think it's on there yet. She was just updating it, but we're also doing cat toys now. So we love to see any new things that might be easier to make for us, or a new challenge for us to make. And we like to ask our staff as well what they're interested in seeing, as well as our customers too. And then we do have our Love Your Mother t-shirts. We get our t-shirts by a local person as well. And we just started offering a lot more local businesses. So we're really excited about that. That's a new venture that we've done the past couple months, is try and find other businesses that are like-minded in Rochester, and selling their products at our location as well. And then lastly, we have plants. That's been a new thing that we've been doing. So myself and the operations manager, we really love plants and just found it enjoyable to do our own cuttings and our own propagation. So we do that. And that's really just it's something that we enjoy so much that we thought, why don't we just start doing that for our customers if anyone's interested in house plants, or because mainly they're indoor plants that we're selling right now. So you can buy a plant at the mall, which is fun. And then we also are selling fruition seeds. So this is a woman-owned farm down in Ontario County. So she has really amazing plants, and I've used her seeds for the past couple of years for my own garden, and her seeds are really amazing and very easy to grow. So we have many options to start up your home garden as well. Does anyone have any questions about the lifestyle department? Just look at the comments real quick. Yes, David, I wasn't sure if Fairport, if we had started that or not yet. So yes, Fairport is composting with us, which is really awesome. I think that's relatively newer. That's why I wasn't sure if we'd started that up by now. Cindy, so the city resident sign up, it's passed maybe, I think a few months ago, they had the end of that sign up. You can always look online, go to the City of Rochester website and look for their composting. They might, I believe, because it's a trial, it was only 1,000 residents that they were allowing sign up. I believe they maxed that out, but you can always look it up, and they might have maybe a newsletter to keep track of, because by the end of that trial year, they'll definitely be opening that up to the city or any more residents to join on as well if they continue to do this. And then Sally, your private customers, what is the area you cover for pickup? So the locations, we are in Ontario County, we're in Monroe County. We really will go anywhere in Monroe County if that's where you are. If you're not in either of those counties, you can look at the return locate or the compost return locations and see if there's anything near you. We're hoping to get to other counties soon, but it's really just a means of getting our drivers out there. And then once we get too far of a location, we are looking at having secondary locations for our drivers to be leaving from, so that it's not so wasteful in gas. Okay, so the last department we have is the education department. This one is definitely more focused in the public. We love to be out in the public. So although the Brighton office is the main location for myself and some of the other staff, we really love being out with our customers. And so we are, especially in the summer, spring, summer, and fall, we are at many different locations doing a lot of events. But we are mainly at the Brighton office at this time. So this is our office. I think this photo was taken today for me because I am at home. So we really are a very family oriented group. So when I do go into the office, I bring my child. You can see my coworker, Becky, who you'd be speaking to on the phone. Her daughter is there. And then also our lifestyle manager, she brings her dog in as well. So we really love this for both, for our mental state, but also it's just a really awesome thing for our boss to allow us to bring our babies and our dogs in, because it makes it a lot easier for us. And it just keeps our group our staff really close knit. So I do a lot of the education content here. I'm not often at home, but obviously just having a baby, I'm still on maternity leave for a little bit longer. And then we also have a few more staff that do some education content for us. And then we have about 3 staff that go into the schools. So it's very minimal work here and there for our other staff, but we really are trying to offer as much as possible. And that's been growing within the past year. So we're just really excited to offer as much education and sustainability and composting as we can. So that is the office space. We also we do our trainings, our staff trainings there. So we do quarterly trainings with all of our staff. So we'll have the farm staff come up to this location. I believe next time we might go down there too, just to try and keep it even, because it is quite a drive. But here is again that dock space that we did this mural, and it's just a really fun place to be. It's definitely brightened it up for the other location or the other businesses that are in this location too. And it makes it more fun to be outside in a city central, not, there's no trees and, nice plants around us. We like to just brighten it up in some way. We also will be having some of our gardens, our garden area, will be up at this mural as well, which will be interesting, a new challenge for us for planting in this type of location. But we wanted to offer vegetables and other product or other produce to our staff at both locations. So then we're going to test it out this year. Our trainings we like to do, aside from just, general trainings that we need to get done in the year, we also like to educate our staff on sustainability topics and just health-minded topics. So we also have presenters come in, and we like to do some type of physical activity just to get people moving. We really enjoy this time. We love to offer this for our staff and just keep them updated on sustainability news in general. And then at the office, we also do the plant propagation and splitting. So I'll spend some time every month doing this. And it's just another really fun thing that we get to do, that we like to not waste as much. And if a plant will get stronger and produce more growth, as long as it's not hindering the plant, we love to spread it and share that with others as well. We also, like I said, are doing the staff gardens there. So we just started our seeds for that. So we're going to be doing tomatoes and lettuce and carrots. And I think the carrots we're going to do down at the farm, but we had a survey and asked our staff what they're interested in receiving from these gardens. And so we had gotten a lot of vegetables and some herbs and things like that. And even some flowers just to brighten up that location. So we're really excited to see how this goes throughout the summer. And then in the education department, lastly, is events. So this, I'll just show you we have many photos of different types of things that we do. We're very versatile. Anybody that's interested in doing any type of education event can always email me. And we're very interested in collaborating or finding something that works for you or your group. We just love learning from our customers, as well as growing some more content for the department as well. So we've done events at the public market. These are just public presentations and demonstrations that we like to do every year. We have DIY at home kits. So we did this book and plant starter for kids. They really loved it, and we got to see some photos of some kids planting their seeds and learning about how plants grow, what does it take for a plant to grow, and how you can take care of it, how the environment takes care of it on its own. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. We also do kids education programs. This was at a library last year that the library put on for any of the community to come. We did a lot of, I believe this was a composting heavy one, but we've done another sustainability one, or we also do education for local wildlife as well. And then last year, we also did a sustainability themed puppet show. This was really a lot of fun for the kids. We did this at one of our markets. So it was an 8-week series, and they were able to learn about some type of new sustainability theme each week. As they were doing a hands-on component, they got some type of printed handout or activity to go home with. And the puppets were discussing some type of sustainability in their show. So that was a lot of fun. We do composting education at different locations. And then we also do presentations, business presentations and trainings as well. We really love doing this type of training for people, especially if they're starting to compost with us, and offering that to all of their staff. we like to go in and check in every year and just make sure everything is going well. And if they wanted to learn something new about a sustainability topic, we are happy to do that too. So that's everything for the tour. If you had any questions about the education department, you can do that now, as well as I just wanted to show you the next events that we have available. So there's my email. If you can also find it on the education site on our website. But let me show you what we have next too. So all of our online events, virtual events are free this month, thanks to the sponsors that we had available. So the calendar is on our website. You can go up to Earth Month tab. The next thing that we're really excited for is the farm tour. That is a paid event, so you have to pay $10 or $20, but it's a 10-person group. So try and get as many of your friends and family as you can and come down to the farm. We're going to be doing tours it'll be allotted time. So you come at a certain time, and we have free tabling events for planting. We have some of our lifestyle products for sale. So we'll be having a lot of other stuff aside from just that farm tour. But it's a great way to see it right off the bat in the springtime, and then possibly coming back in the summer to see how much it's filled in and how much those pits have changed too. It's really interesting. And you can find that on our Eventbrite page. There are links here too, so you can get to that really easily, like you registered for this class. The farm tour is next, and then we have some other virtual classes to look forward to. So definitely take a look at those. Does anyone have any questions?
So right there, where you are right there, how to use compost.
Yes.
It's showing April 11th. On the calendar, it shows it it's the 12th. And when you sign up, it says it's the 12th. It is the 12th then, isn't it?
I'm going to say it's the 12th. I'm so sorry. Let me make sure. I'm sorry that happened. Oh, let's see. Yep.
So
So
it's
we have it on the 12th here too. So now that I see that, thank you. I will change that. Thank you so much. It's probably just on this one image. But yes, it's the 12th.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
This was so interesting. I'm so impressed by your business. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. We really appreciate it. Yeah, if that's everything for tonight, if you don't have any other questions, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciated it. Just your interest in all of this. And like I said, just take a look at some of the other classes that we have and some of these other events that we're doing, so we can see you in person as well. It would be awesome.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you. Have a
very
great
much.
night.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.